Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by Landmark Self-Storage in Leominster. www.landmarkselfstorage.com. Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of...
There I am. Hey. Sorry about that. Anyway, hello. And welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, and I'm the mayor, and it's Thursday, and we have a live show, and I'm just trying to get us synced into... are we live on Facebook? Does anybody know?
Yes, we are.
I see WCVB.
That's not us.
I see heebie-jeebies. I see the Bee Gees, but I don't see you guys. Let me look for a minute. Patience. All right, let me try now. No, I don't see it. It's not coming up. Anyway, we're live this afternoon. Our phone number, if you'd like to call. We do have a guest later on. He's the new Treasurer Collector for the City of Leominster, Paul Redmond. And we'll get a chance to talk to him and learn more about him and what's going on in the Treasurer's world. And anyway, 978-534-1626 is the number to call. But we have, like, incredibly important things to do right now because the weather for next week is warm. And it's, from what I hear, it's going to be some of the best golf weather there is. In fact, Carl and I are both thinking of, and Ron are thinking of taking up golf. And so we're going to need some good instruction. And for that, we go over to Art from the Art Report.
Well, I went to the mailbox about 20 minutes ago, and it was snowing. That's item number one. Item number two, anybody and everybody that takes Route 13 down through past Dunkin' Donuts, like they're heading to Route 2 or they're heading downtown Leominster, the finest city this side of Tampa Bay, Florida. Please be careful because one of Leominster's finest, retired, and friendliest and smartest police officers, Mr. Bengrazi, was there today.
For a minute, Francis Guido Bengrazi.
Yes, and when we went by, he gave me a big hello, Arthur. I waved back. Came home, got in my truck. I had to go get a piece of lumber. So I took the Classic out. And of all people to remember my Classic, I'm sitting in line. We had to stop. And Frank looks over and he goes, "You took it out for the season." I said, "Yes, I did." And then he was entertaining a bus that had stopped. What a diplomat. You know, he's perfect for that job. And that's a tough spot where you have two police officers in the middle of the road trying to get cars off of Route 2, onto Route 2, down Route 13, and up Route 13.
Patience.
So please, patience. Be careful. And it's not a long delay. I think
no.
I went by there twice today, and I wasn't held up for more than 2 minutes. So things are good in that department. Now,
yes.
Golf.
Yes.
When they start selling earmuffs in the pro shop, that's when I'll tee off again. We were up there yesterday. The parking lot still had a little snow from the last storm.
I heard it was snowing, I mean, like snowing up there today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, like I was saying earlier, when you leave Leominster, it's 20 minutes uphill the whole way.
Yeah, the other day when we had that snow, up around Mount Wachusett, where our former library director lives, there was like 8 or 10 inches of snow. But I mean, it covered the trees, the houses, the driveways, everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question about it. There was a fast melt. We played. Some areas you had to be careful. It was quite wet. But it felt good to get out.
Isn't April kind of like, don't you think it's like late October, November, comparable? Could have a nice warm day, cool night. It could snow, right? It could have frost.
Absolutely.
That's why they tell... Right? The old Italians always used to say, and I'm sure others, you never plant your tomatoes or anything, your warm weather crops until Memorial Day because
Yes, they do.
you could still
They
get a
do.
frost, and you could get a deep frost. I remember working the midnight shift when I was a police officer, and I remember we still wear our jackets like midnight to 8. It was still cool even in the month of June at night.
When we tee off, yes. I
Yeah.
have layers, but I have extra in the car if I need it. And also, and I'll close with this, in the dumb move of the year, which I'm sure Lou Conry's going to love this one.
What happened?
I put my golf shoes on and I walked over, got in my car, and I go to tee off, and I said, there's something wrong with my right foot. It's bothering me in my golf shoe. I got to play a couple holes and get to the third hole, and now it's really bothering me. So I want to see what's wrong. I took the golf shoe off, and inside was a golf tee. I was walking on a wooden golf tee. For 3 holes.
Ronnie's laughing with you. Ronnie over here, Ronnie Gerard's over here to my left, to your right, and Ronnie's laughing. I just want to make sure you hear the laughing. He's not laughing at you. He's laughing with you.
Oh, we've all done it all, I'm sure.
Hey, listen, if I get 2 socks to match in the morning, put 2 of the same shoes on, I'm a happy man.
Well, I start with looking for one without a hole in it, and when I finally get to those that are good, I put them on. Have a good evening. Be safe, be careful. Vote Mazzarella.
That was Art from the Art Report, and we're live this afternoon and on this Earth Day when the weather is unpredictable and but the sun is shining. So my theory with bad weather or cold weather is just so you appreciate the good weather, Kyle. And the reason for a toothache or an ache in your body is to appreciate it when you're not aching, right? Right? I mean, how would you, if every day was perfect and there was never any pain and how would we all act? Right? I guess we'd have a barbaric society, right? Nobody would.
So is that coffee? Is that water?
I gotta take this. I'm not trying to get free advertisement here. It's just, it's steaming hot tea, and I've been talking all day, and one of the, you know what? I mean, there's always defining moments in anything. I mean, you can go to ask anybody that does anything for a living, and anything in their life, and they say, well, what are the defining moments? Like, what are some of the things that like stand out? And so today we got to go visit the Viettes on Union Street, Mr. and Mrs. Viette. So they have been married 77 years. Kyle, 77 years. You think Tina could put up with you? You think anybody could put up with me for 77 years?
It's been what, 41?
You're just a lightweight. Mrs. Viette is 100 years old. Mr. Viette, who worked in the foundries in Fitchburg, a couple different places, she worked actually at the Manor, which was now the Manor, not then, but he's 102 years old. And you have just no clue how fun that is for us, for me and us, to be able to go to visit them and sit in their living room. It is the defining moments. It's kind of like, you know, an experience with Louis Charpentier. And there's been your uncle,
Yeah.
who, right, who you or even your father, right? Man of few words, but a musician, good listener, smile, and it's like a treasure to be able to be in their presence, right? I mean, how old's your uncle? He was working at Sholin Farms.
Yeah, he was 95.
95. He built two of the hayrides that were up there. Just that is the defining moments of this, my experiences. That's one of them. So I got to visit them today. 100 and 102 years old. We believe they are the longest married couple in the city. 77 years, Kyle. Just and with everyone, and I think that the part of the fascinating piece is we're a city of all ethnic descents. So whether it be the French Canadians, the Italian, the Irish, the Latinos, people from Dominican Republic, those from Ghana now, from Haiti, to hear their stories, just every story. I wish I could categorize it all. I wish I could film it all. I wish I could get that story, because Leominster is really a melting pot, a serious melting pot, where people come from all over the world and immigrate here for the American dream. You have to be a hard worker. And the reason I think, we see these racial tension, racial incidents across the country, and you think like, yeah, but not here. I mean, we don't have those issues. Do they come up? Occasionally they do, of course. You get right on them, though. And, but at the end of the day, you really think back and you think, well, why is there so much harmony? And a lot of it is we've been in manufacturing. Fort Devens is an Army base. Military is teamwork, team effort. Construction has been a primary function or occupation in this area for so many years. And all of those efforts take teamwork, right? And they make good neighbors, good people. Churches, same sort of thing, bring good people into the community. They do good things. And so we don't see that racial tension in the same way that, we watch TV and you see what's going on around the country and you think, well, I don't get this. This is the country that is the melting pot, right? This is like the design of the country was to be a melting pot. So you're in the wrong place if you are shocked by people from other cultures or religious beliefs, because this is the place where you can practice what you believe, right? That's exactly how the country was founded. So we're pretty fortunate, and with that comes those senior citizens, those seniority citizens who have a story to tell, who have been here for years, who have immigrated here, and to sit down and be in the same living room space as somebody 100 and 102. They've been married for 77 years. 77 years. Priceless, right? How do you put anything on? How do you compare any of that? But I'm going to take a sip of my tea, get my vocal cords calmed down here, because it's been a lot of talking most of the day. And we're going to take a short break, and our phone number is 978-534-1626. Do we have a call right now, or we're going to take a break? Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. I promise. Wow, that long, huh? All right. Got a little citation here for you. Members of the Chamber of Commerce that are here, they always come, our ambassadors, our Ward 2 Councilor, Pauline Cormier, and we have a little citation to give to you. We were just speaking about the investment that it takes. There's 3 businesses here. That's a big investment. It's a lot of space they've taken. Big investment in our community. They worked real hard to make sure this could happen, and they did it Class A. They did it right. And so it's up to us to patronize these businesses and to help them out and support them. So we have a little citation here to congratulate you all on everything that you've done here. And thank you for investing in our community. So we have a little time that we can use on our local access television. So maybe you can explain your different businesses, the concepts, what you invested here, why, the whole concept overall of the whole, fitness and social aspect of it, and then what you've done here.
Sure.
You can drop your mask if you want.
All right. So Mark and I started screen printing and making clothing about 3 years ago, and we were friends with Nick and Shad, who have the gym. Initially, we were going to go next door and print above them, screen printing, and it snowballed into what you're looking at here, which is a full-service shake coffee
Is that a
bar.
shirt that you
Yes.
did? Give yourself a plug.
Yeah. Super Metal Bros, screen printing, all the shirts over here. We'll have a full store within the next month or so inside the store. But we snowballed this idea into a shake bar, and then it became coffee, food, supplements, and everything else you can think of to service the gym community. But now we're open to the public as well. So we're open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday, and 7 to 7 on the weekends. So
Come on down. So
get a protein shake.
it's building behind. So if you come down to Lancaster Street, it's actually, there's a driveway between 435 and here, and so there's a drive that goes out, and then you take a left, and it's a little bit of a hill, and you come down, and you'll find them. So
We're a bit of a speakeasy.
yeah, we'll put some signs up in the
We're
buildings.
back here somewhere.
Little arrows on the
You'll
ground.
find us.
Little
Yeah,
arrows on the
yeah,
ground.
exactly.
Silk screen some arrows into the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah.
So, nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. There you go. And we're back here at Inside Leominster with a phone number of 978-534-1626. Rise and grind. And what an operation. They did a spectacular job down there. And what a build out. And, you know, being in business, I know the cost. I know what it takes to be compliant in the state of Massachusetts with all of the codes that we have. And, you know, the capital that it takes. Usually by the time you open, you're down to your last couple of bucks. And they've done a great job down there. Stop down and visit them. And we're at a period of time, we were looking at the data the other day, we've opened more businesses, small businesses, in this period of time, and then we've opened in the history of the city. Our vacancy rate for industrial commercial property. Now, malls are a different story, Paul. Malls are a different story. But if you look around, like up at Twin City, the Leominster section is almost at 100% capacity. If you look at industrial space, there's one building. I mean, almost everything is crammed full. There's one building that a company just left because, so they used to make, you know, Fritos and Doritos and all those chips. They make them in Connecticut. They would bring them here to Leominster to package, and then haul them back to Connecticut, all the way down 290 to whatever that is, 395, whatever it is, and haul them back. And they found a spot closer, a warehouse closer where they could do the packaging. Sure. Otherwise, they'd still be here. But it opens it up for another opportunity because there are a number of other businesses looking at the spot. But other than that, it is almost the lowest. What I heard from Foster Appraisal Company is it's the lowest vacancy rate of modern and older style manufacturing and commercial buildings. It's the lowest vacancy since they've been keeping track. Wow. And so we looked back and said, let's go further back from how many years they've done the Foster report. And we find the same thing. It's the lowest vacancy. So those are good things.
That's great.
Paul Redmond's our treasurer and collector, which means he gets to do a lot of those. He gets to collect. That's the fun part. Thanks. How many months?
I started in October, so just about 7 months
7
now.
months.
Yeah.
You still feel like the new guy?
Not as much. Luckily, we've had some new people at City Hall.
Yeah, so you're like senior.
So it's worked out well. But no, everyone's been super, super welcoming and super helpful. So
I told you that. I said, when we hired, I said, it won't take long where you feel like, I think I know these people. And
yeah,
everybody's
absolutely.
friendly and it's team effort. But we have hired, you know, as we age out, new people come in or other people sometimes take other jobs. But mostly people, you know, retire is usually what happens. And David LaPlante's been there forever.
Yes.
And
sure.
It's I mean, that's a bonus to be able to step into his shoes because he left it in good shape. He's still there working part-time.
Yes.
Let's explain just a little bit about some of the things that the treasurer's office does other than just collect our money.
Sure. So one of the primary focuses of my office, obviously, like you mentioned, is, you know, collecting all that tax revenue that comes in. Then,
which we appreciate, by the way.
We do. Thank you for that. But the other side, the treasurer's side, is really more taking those funds and investing them. Right. Whether it be, you know, just in, you know, a regular ordinary savings account, or we actually have some funds that we use outside companies that actually help us invest in the stock market. There's limited to what you can do due to the fact that it's obviously
risk. Right. We're limited by where we can where we couldn't invest in you know, something speculative.
Exactly.
Because the law doesn't allow us to do that. So we're more conservative in our investments, but we're taking taxpayers' dollars and investing them so that minimizes us having to raise taxes over Prop 2.5. It helps us out with future projects, keeps our bond rating good.
It's great because if you were to just leave, especially now with COVID and everything, where a lot of the interest rates for the banks just plummeted.
Right.
And if we just had money just sitting in those, we're making next to nothing.
Right.
Where luckily we were able to invest in other stock opportunities, which kept our earnings actually pretty stable, which can't be said for a lot of other industries, I'm sure, and what they can do.
And the collection of water liens or tax liens, collection of water bills, all of that goes into
any bill that you're paying, that money is being used. I mean, some things are earmarked for different projects and things when stuff come in, but for the most part, it's all going into a general account, which is then being invested out in the world. So
years, and I say years and years ago, we thought, people doing, starting to dabble in credit cards, online came available. People they're starting to order things online, and maybe we can, insert online payment. And at the time, it was just too early. It didn't go so well. And there were also some laws and restrictions that made it difficult, and there were fees and everything. But today, I'm amazed at how many people will pay online.
Absolutely, it's it's the way the world's going. There's a lot to be said for the virtual online platforms. And actually, as of about 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're working with our payment processing vendor. We actually are going to be adding PayPal.
Really?
As a payment option.
Wow, there you go.
A lot of people, the younger generation.
Venmo and PayPal.
PayPal and Venmo. You will be able to use them both.
So I can pay my bill with Venmo?
You can.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about making it easy for people to pay a bill.
Absolutely.
And I use it all the time. I'm like, I pay my Capital One. I pop up my phone, my personal phone, pop it up. Within seconds, the thing that takes me the longest is punching in my password.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in 4 seconds, it's over. And I'm like, they actually made paying my bill pleasurable.
They did.
I didn't have to leave my house. I didn't have to go to the mailbox. I didn't have to go get stamps. Nothing.
No, exactly, and that's one of the messages our office is trying to send out to the public as well. Is obviously, please come in and pay your bill.
Yeah, we love having people come to the building.
But at the same time, there are so many other options, especially if you are somebody, who it's difficult for you to get out of the house, or of course, as we saw with the pandemic, you can't really go anywhere.
Or I got to pack the kids up. Take them all downtown.
Exactly.
Get them out of the car. Move them into City Hall.
Exactly.
Go and pay my bill.
Sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. A lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean,
or they're just in a hurry. And
yes.
One of the values is I heard people who would travel outside the city and go to another state for the winter.
Yes.
Or people that spend the summer in Maine or something like.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is such a great service. I got up this morning. I remembered my tax bill was due, and there was no way I was making it down there. And I was able to pay it online.
Oh, yeah?
They were so happy.
Well, and one of the features, too, that we actually have is there's actual reminders that'll go out to you.
Right.
So you can get a reminder a week before, a couple days before, hey, your bill's due, and that way you don't forget. And, because a lot of people, we deal with so much paper and stuff. You get the bill in the mail, you misplace it, what have you. But at least there's some safeguards built into those processes, which is nice.
We talk a lot about, and I think the other thing is and this is not to be critical, but I visit other mayor's offices, and they're not all on the first floor across from the tax collection.
Sure, absolutely.
And as well as I do, the ladies that work with you will say, yep, people will turn around and head right into the mayor's office, right?
Yeah.
But that's accountability.
Yes.
So I have friends that are mayors, and their office is on the 3rd floor. It's just the way the building is set up. It's not to be critical. It's just life there.
Yeah.
And I often thought, you're right here, and if anybody's upset, it could be, those people that come in, and usually it's younger people, and they got parking tickets in Boston or Alston, usually where kids go to school, and they haven't paid them, and now they're tagged at the registry, so they try to go get their renewal of their license, and they find out I can see the look on their face. I know exactly when I see them walk through the door.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I know exactly why they're here, and a lot of times, but it's about accountability, and if people have an issue, they're paying the bill. They're our customers. They can turn right around and come across to my office.
Absolutely.
And that's how it's supposed to work. And however they designed it, it's been the mayor's office for a long time, and that's been the treasurer's office. And it's the first, you're walking off the street. It's the first door on the left and right. Yeah. Right? We send out the bills and we collect money, but if you're not happy about how that money's spent, you just go right across the hall and let somebody know about it.
Absolutely. No, and accountability is a great thing to have. obviously we're it's not necessarily a business in that respect, but you want to have people leave, even if they're not going to leave happy. I want them to at least understand why the situation is the way it is, good, bad, whatever the case may be. So
I had a friend, he said he had a house right on the ocean. And he said, you know how much guess how much I pay for trash removal? And I said, I don't know not what you pay for trash removal.
Sure.
And he says, no, I want you to guess. You're a mayor in the city. I want you to guess. He was also a resident here, but there was a summer house. What do you think? And I said, I don't know, $500, because there are communities that charge $500, $600,
Yeah, sure.
$700.
Absolutely.
Have the trash picked up. And I finally said, I don't know. I don't have a clue. Is it $500, $600 a year to pick your trash up? He goes, no. It was like $100 a year.
Yeah.
But I said, well, how much is your tax bill on your house?
right, yeah.
And it was like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure.
I said, I'll come pick up your trash.
Yes,
right? I'll pick up
absolutely,
your
yeah.
trash. So there are all those things. And so a lot of times it's adding value to the experience, making it easy for a customer to be able to pay their bill, and also bring to attention directly to the mayor something that maybe they're not happy with.
Sure.
A lot of times people come in. I just saw that we were able to help some families. We have this program called the Elderly and Disabled Tax
Tax exemption. yeah.
exemption program, and people donate to it.
Yes.
That's the one. You sent me a memo saying we help 4 families or 4
Yes.
individuals, elderly, disabled, and people make donations. So in your water bills, you'll open it up sometimes and you'll see a note in there saying, do you want to make a donation? With those donations, I think we helped 4 people or 4 couples with their tax bill. And that was like for $500 a piece, I think,
Absolutely,
right? Is that
yeah.
what you sent me? I think so.
Yes, and I think too, one of those things is, I don't know how many people are aware of
Well, that's
those
why I brought
types
you
of
on,
things.
so we could tell them about
Yeah, I
these
mean,
things.
there's definitely opportunities if you're, everybody's circumstances are different, and you can get there is help available to you. So if you ever feel as though you're going to need that help, please reach out, and we can get you set up, whether it's to the assessor's office, some kind of an exemption, or there's different abatement classifications. We can
Right.
definitely help you out. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but we can.
If somebody's having trouble paying a tax bill or a bill, the best thing is to come to City Hall and we'll privately have a discussion
Absolutely.
and set up some sort of a payment plan
Yes.
that is realistic for them and us. We don't want to take your house. We don't want to put a
course
lien
not.
on it. Trust me, that's the last thing
Oh, yeah,
we
no,
want to do.
that is probably the worst part of my job.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that.
So call us, come in, set up a payment plan. You also might be eligible for exemptions. Every once in a while, we run across an elderly or disabled person or a veteran that doesn't know that they're eligible for a
Absolutely.
exemption. Veterans sometimes can help. Sometimes we find somebody that's got a hot water tank and they're elderly,
Yeah.
and the hot water tank went, and they're without water or hot water, and then finally we're made aware of it, and we have a CDBG program, Community Development Block Grant money, that we
Yes.
can help people with things like that.
Absolutely.
Or the other day we had a problem. Somebody's bought a house or a condo, and for some reason the water bill was enormous, and was a veteran, and we were able to send them up to Rick Voltor. And so I know people are proud, but you can still be proud. This is your community. You've been paying into the system for all these years. Come in, sit down. You might not know the different programs that we have. We'll be
Absolutely.
working on rent relief pretty soon. That is starting to. I don't know if you saw the latest DLS.
I did, yeah,
report,
I saw that,
And
yeah.
it talked about rent relief. And there's a couple of programs we're trying to do for the elderly who might have had difficulty paying rent.
Yes.
And we're setting up a program for that. We have $65,000, $75,000 under the CDBG program. We've got to hook in with another nonprofit to administer it. But so don't panic. Come in, and we have people in the building who understand this. We don't want your house. Just like I say, we don't want to give tickets. We don't want your money. We want to help. And so it's important to know that we're not like the villain.
No, I agree. It's tough for sure. I mean, because you and I know. I mean, we all have bills, and nobody wants to pay their bills, and
I just wish
everybody.
they were all due the same day. 'Cause
That would be helpful,
It drives
wouldn't
me wild. Automatic deduction is a wonderful thing,
Yes.
or automatic payment or online payment. But at the same time, it's good sometimes to see your bills and actually review them. At one point in the recession, I found out phones, I was paying for phones, personally, phone lines I hadn't used in years.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had people who, because a lot of people, their mortgage company will pay their real estate taxes for them. And they'll get the bill in the mail because by law, regardless of who's paying the bill, we
have to get
send
the
you a
bill.
copy of the bill. And they didn't realize, they were looking at their taxes, their mortgage company was taking out too much money.
Right.
But you're not going to know these things.
And they're
unless,
probably going to take out more than less because they don't want to have to break the news to you that they haven't been taking out enough, and now you owe us another $1,000.
Exactly.
So they know they're better off. They don't want you mad at them. They want you mad at us.
Right. So it's in your best interest to review, obviously, those bills. And if you have any questions on what the bill means, because some of the language can be difficult, you know.
Yeah, it's not made to be so clearly understood.
It's not.
Well, that's why I say
office is great.
taxation. I sit here and try to explain. I'm like, okay, so the fiscal year starts July 1st, okay? But our assessments on what real estate is actually worth, you get an estimated bill on your taxes in July.
Right.
So for the first 2 quarters, those are estimated. The next 2 quarters are the actual ones with any makeup that might be in them.
Yes.
So you got a calendar year, a fiscal year, a tax cycle year. None of it makes any sense.
It doesn't.
And I have to come here and try to explain to people.
No, absolutely.
This is how this works. So tax bill you're getting is only an estimate in July and then in November?
October.
October?
Yep.
Those are estimated bills. You're not actually getting the real bill. So sometimes you're making up for it when you get the bill in December.
Exactly.
People are like, well, why don't you just fix it so when you know what the value is on the house, I get it, so that it doesn't. So people are like, my bill went up $500. I'm like, not really. It went up 2.5%.
Right.
The rest of it is value and some makeup sometimes.
Yes.
So you must get a lot of that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I totally understand why that's confusing because it's. I mean, a lot of times I have to go back and review it and make sure that I'm like, wait a minute, is this the right? You know, it's not intuitive in that respect, but it's yeah, my.
But we understand it. That's why we're here. We can certainly explain it to you. Paul Redmond's my guest. 978-534-1626. My name's Dean Mazzarella. I'm here for the City of Leominster. We have a full crew here today. Wave. Bradley, wave. There you go. Ronnie's over here. Put the little camera on Ronnie. Look at this guy. I see him everywhere. I'm constantly seeing Ron. He walks like, how many miles you do today?
3 miles.
3?
For the month I have 50 miles in.
And it was windy today. 50 miles you'll have in at the end of the month.
I already have 50 in.
Nice.
Next month we shoot for 100.
That's amazing. Hey, remember Mr. Gallagher at the high school? Did you have him?
Yes.
At the junior high? And today was Earth Day. And I was thinking, remember Carl, Mr. Gallagher? And, you know, you think about a teacher in your life, and everybody has some teacher that made some difference in their life, or teachers, right? Most of the time it's more. But there's always a few. And so when they first had Earth Day, Mr. Gallagher took us out, and we went out exploring in the woods, and I saw like berries that you could eat that I never knew you could eat, and we learned about the environment and the ecosystem long before, you know, it becomes a whole world like the ecosystem, and now it's every day. But we were learning things that we never knew, and it helped me to develop my love of wildlife and nature and conserving and being careful and balancing out the ecosystem and doing all the right things. And I was thinking, so when we were in the 7th grade, Ron, that was like 1971, would you think? 71, we were in the 7th grade. It's the first Earth Day they had. And I actually had a pair of Earth shoes, Bradley. They're called Earth shoes. And they were kind of like what you would think of like a crunchy granola kind of earthy shoes.
Sure.
And so I was just thinking back, and Mr. Gallagher was kind of the pivot for us. And I actually had the picture that was in the Sentinel Enterprise of our picture that was in the paper with Mr. Gallagher as the first Earth Day. And we celebrated it. But so you never know, right? Who you're bumping into. And where did you go to school?
I grew up in Charlton.
Charlton?
Yep. So I went to Shepherd Hill.
Oh, that's
High
right.
School
Shepherd Hill
in
is that school, yeah.
Yep.
And certainly somewhere along the line, did you go to public schools? Or?
I did. Yeah, I went to public school all through
And
high
somewhere
school.
along the line, we were fortunate enough, I think, Ron and Carl and anybody that went to public schools here, at least here, to have a number of people along the way who were kind of influential. Who's your, like, favorite, if you had to?
Donald Starr,
Mr. Starr?
yeah, from Bennett School.
Yeah, Bennett School. And anybody else in particular?
John Gallagher. From
Mr. Gallagher, a patient guy.
grade.
What was your homeroom in the 7th grade?
22, it was up on the 3rd floor.
22. Well, room 20 was Mr. Ciccolini.
Okay, so
Miss
we went-
Bowen, who is now Miss LeBlanc, was room 19.
Okay,
So you were on that floor.
so we went on the 3rd floor, that would have been the 1st floor.
Okay.
The first door on your left.
And who was the homeroom teacher?
John Gallagher was my homeroom teacher.
Oh, okay, that's right. He was up.
Mrs. Werner was my 8th grade teacher.
Right. So there you go. See, that you just never know in life.
No, it's
when you're gonna
very
make-
true. It's
and,
very
and
true.
I was thinking that's many years ago, but it is kind of got me into the environment and worrying. Well, I mean, my grandfather, we watered. He had rain barrels, these big 55-gallon
yeah.
drums, and collected all the water, and then we'd go over to each plant and fill it up and go over and fill, which was for two good reasons. One was, and he said this, one good reason is you never want to put water on the plant because, especially at night, it can grow fungus.
Yeah,
and
right.
Get diseased. And the other reason is it's free water. Why not use it
Yeah.
and put it into the ground? And so we were kind of brought up to be very conservative of the environment, to protect it, to
Yeah.
nourish it. And so all of those things, again, oh, this is Wendy. Who was your favorite teacher, Wendy? Did you have a favorite teacher?
Let's see. I liked Mr. Starr a lot. I had Mr. Starr for math. Liked him a lot.
I have like a
McDonald's.
list.
The
Who?
McDonald's.
McDonald's?
Yep,
Yep.
they were great.
I have a lot of, I don't know why, I just have a bunch of teachers that were really like, I had most good teachers, I gotta say. I'm fortunate.
Yeah.
Miss Stradell, Miss Bowen was my homeroom teacher, I mean, all the way across. I had all good teachers, all from,
In trouble now with the rest of them?
no, but from kindergarten up, I can't think of a teacher that, you know, I had Mr. Estabrook and did metal and woodworking, and Mr. Johnson that did printing, and Mr. Case was our, Ralph Case, 306. He was our phys ed teacher, and it just, the whole building. Gino Savatelli, Mr. Savatelli was the principal.
Had some trouble with him.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, they were looking out for you, right?
Yeah, no,
They
absolutely.
were part of almost like being a family.
Do you remember Mr. Piccolini? He was, he worked in the sheet metal.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have him, no. I had Mr. Estabrook.
Okay.
And he did make those little ashtrays and all those things there. But yeah, I can't say I had too many teachers. Even Mr. DeCharles taught me typing. I mean, 1974, I was typing, Ron. I was good. You should, right? You see me on my keyboard.
That's how we know something's coming. When we hear
Ding! 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 Yeah, no, right. So, yeah, I can't think of too many.
And Mrs. Offerly.
Awfully. I didn't have her, but I'm just saying, Miss Pothier was my guidance counselor. Remember, we had 500-something kids that graduated, so you could only, poor guidance counselors, they never really
sure.
get to know the kids.
Absolutely.
Now, if you get in trouble, kind of people know who you are down in the office, but it's kind of hard to get to know who a lot of these people are, right?
Of course.
So, anyway, Mr. Gallagher, thank you to Earth Day 2021, and do we have pictures of the week? We have. We were at AIS today. Is that on there?
Yes, we do.
I have a lot of
Oh, we have a clip from it. Do you mind hanging on for one
No,
second,
absolutely.
Paul?
I have a lot of road construction.
And we'll finish up with anything that you need to add in here that I didn't ask because I
Sure.
always, I'm like a segue. Let's just drift off. All right, let's do that. Let's do that segment.
Dean, there's no video yet. We've got your PowerPoint.
Oh,
AIS isn't done yet. That's still in progress.
is there a picture of AIS in here?
No.
Oh,
And Wendy says no.
okay. Let's do it. Paul doesn't mind going anyway. Okay,
No, that's fine.
here we are. This is, as of yesterday, we do not have the data in yet. As soon as we get it, we'll let you know. But right now, in the city of Leominster, 77,000 people across the state were tested. 1,370 were tested positive, 165 here in Worcester County. And Leominster has gone from, 94, dropped down to 88. 13 deaths, one is too many, in hospitals. Hospital beds across the state is 4,000. And there are 686 people in the hospital right now that have tested positive for COVID. Now, they might be there for other reasons, but they have tested positive. In intensive care, 156. And somebody was kind enough, on our morning briefings, somebody was kind enough to sort of explain to me why. And I thought, with everybody that's getting vaccinated, why are there still 686 people in the hospital? Why are there still 156 people in intensive care? And it was a good explanation, which is that we know a lot more about care for people with COVID. Therefore, people that typically might not even have come to the hospital at the time, we might not even have known to bring them to the hospital. It might have been too late to bring them to the hospital. Now, are diagnosed pretty easily, and they actually have sort of different procedures that they're able to do in methods because they understand a lot more than they did in the past. So that makes sense. So right now in Leominster, down from 94 to 88. Here's some of the sites if you need a test. Health Alliance, Reliant, Walgreens, Carewell Urgent Center, CVS's are doing this, and as I said, Walgreens. In terms of distribution, got into all those categories from 1, 2. We're now in phase 3, so anybody that's 16 and older is eligible. We are running clinics still for those that, for the hard to reach. Maybe there's a language barrier, maybe there's a disability involved, maybe it's somebody elderly. But right now, and this number will change tonight, Wendy? Is this one of the numbers they changed tonight or no? For those 77, for the 75 and older, 77% of them have had at least one dosage. Those 65 to 74, 76% have had at least one dosage. 50 to 65 years old, 56% of them, and 40% of Leominster is now vaccinated. We're probably going to get updated numbers, so that those numbers will be higher.
An hour.
In 1 hour. Well, we won't be here an hour, but we'll post it. All right. Let's see what we got. So far, total dosages shipped, 6.2 million. Again, if you're having trouble hooking up with a vaccine, vaccine at leominster-ma.gov. The next clinic is April 28th. That's next week already. Moderna, appointments are available. And if you sign up with us and then later change your mind because you've got one closer, or different, maybe it's Pfizer, you just say, please let us know, because the last thing we want is we're saving that vaccine for you. And if you don't take it, then it's not like it go to waste, because we obviously can keep it, but it stops somebody who was waiting for a vaccine to be able to get one. We have a state homebound vaccination program. We did about 15 this week. There's the phone number to call, 844-771-1628, Monday through Friday. They'll sign you up, and they'll actually come to your house. Here's some of the projects that we're working on. The skate park down at Johnson Street. DPW is down there tearing apart all the blacktop, getting it somewhat semi-prepared. MassWorks grant, $2.4 million. They'll be starting sometime, I don't know, when did that go out to bid?
A month. We already started buying stuff.
All right, so it'll start in about a month. FEMA grant for the connector. The river was kind of tearing out some of the roadway. That's $684,000. Route 13 is, Art said earlier, underway. That's a $6 million project. Make it safer and more efficiently to ride through. Route 12 South, that's a $14 million project. That is down by El Camino in that area. That's scheduled for next year. Route 12 near the hospital, it's an $8 million project that's going out to bid in September. All the takings have been done. People are texting in. I try to pay attention to both, but sometimes I can't. Let's see, safe routes to school, sidewalk on Viscaloid Ave, that's $1.1 million. That'll go out to bid at the end of the year. In front of the Woodbrook, there's $400,000 that's going to create that park, and the fire department received a $30,000 grant for the new gym. And that takes us to the next slide, which is the budget will be coming out soon. They do have some money from the CARES Act, from the state, federal, and local, for PPEs to help them, because it is a different world. We have to have the proper, and the whole classroom structure has changed, ventilation systems, et cetera. Yard waste. The good news for you, Ron, get out there and help somebody. Forget walking around. Just donate your time picking up leaves. This is only going to go to May 15th. And then when it ends, oh, I'm sorry, this is the yard sale. So the yard waste pickup is May 28th. The yard sale is the 15th. And you know what I say about this is find a corner in your house, your porch, your garage, your basement, and every time you walk by something you haven't touched or looked at, because if you do it like the last day, you won't pick up things, or you'll end up selling things you really didn't want to sell. So as you're passing things, think, have I looked at that? Have I touched it? Have I used it? And make a pile. And then the day of the, set up your tables, voila. And let's see, so get rid of that. Paving projects, ongoing, Merriam Ave to Mount Pleasant Ave, the connector, all over the city. This Shoalin Farms is now open. Remember, they can't do the festival this year, the Apple Blossom Festival. Who's on the line, Bradley? Is somebody on the line? Okay. And the Apple Blossom Festival. So they made a lot of money doing this festival, which helped them to maintain the crop. So if you can make a donation to them in absent, so maybe you go out and take a picture. And while the apples blossoms are blossom, correct? From what I understand, the ones that I saw were starting to pop open the other day.
Just up there a couple of days ago.
And they're popping. So anyway, no Apple Blossom Festival, but you can visit Shoalin Farms. It's a beautiful resource, beautiful part of the whole, idea of preserving open space. Anyway, maybe you can mail them a small donation to help them out. There you go. Willamette Park is making progress, looking good, and talked to people at the Fix today and just getting ready for what it's going to look like during summer. And there you go. It's scheduled for mid-May. Hopefully by the end of May it'll be done, and get some tables out there, and it's got a little water amenity. It's going to be a lot of fun. Getting ready for the bridge. This is for the bike path, and they're putting a finished surface on the bridge. I guess this would be the foundation of the base for the new bike lane. This goes over Route 2. There they are, continuing doing work on the rail trail, paving the connector. It got so bad down by the mall there that there were like rivets in the. It's like almost being on a ride when the thing just automatically takes you. You don't even have to turn. You just get in the ruts and hit the gas. Route 13, as we were talking about a little while ago, the Amarillo Construction is out there working, and that's going to continue. And they're trying to work as much off the road as they possibly can, but not all that can be done. Sidewalk and intersection work, again, at Route 13. It's coming along very nicely. Very happy about that. And again, it's almost like invisible because they keep traffic moving and they're doing work on the side. They're replacing water, sewer, drainage. Pretty interesting. And we did some paving on Lindell Ave, paving on Mount Pleasant Ave, getting ready to pave Merriam Ave. There's a lot of Merriam Ave that's going to be paved. Some isn't right now. We're probably going to do it in the fall. But just be patient with us. We still have some other work to do out there to those other sections. So you might ask, well, why don't you just do all of a particular street like Merriam Ave? Well, if you started from Merriam Ave and went all the way to the other end, you'd be talking about spending probably $5 million. So what we did is we do it incrementally. We replace the water, the sewer, the gas lines they need to be replaced, drainage. Then we come in and regrind it and repave it. So all in all, it's millions of dollars to fix a street like that. Some more money that we spent. Just showing you the complexity of this and the expense of a project like that. What it takes to really, to the point where you can actually pave it. All right, Paul, so what did we forget about the Treasurer Collector's office? Have a problem, call. Don't wait for your name to show up in the unpaid money list there. And don't wait for all that. Call, and Paul and his staff would be more than willing, Linda and everybody would be more than willing. And you might also know about some other opportunities that they might not be aware.
Yep. The next set of real estate and personal property bills are due on May 3rd, so keep that in mind. But yeah, no, to reiterate your point, please call. Any questions, any concerns?
You'll go over it with them and set up a realistic payment plan.
Absolutely.
We don't want your house.
We don't.
We don't want your car. We don't want your license. We don't have any room for it.
We don't.
Right? We're not in that business. No. We really want for people to have that opportunity to going through a hard time, to work it out, catch up, And many people do. It's pretty incredible on how many people do run into a problem, but get back on their feet, get back up to paying their bills.
Yeah,
and
it's important to be proactive. And if you feel as though you're not going to be able to do it, give us a call and we can absolutely work something out. The worst thing you can do is bury your head in the sand and think it's gonna.
Because now you're accumulating interest.
Exactly.
And you don't want to get to that point where now it's a major crisis. And so, yeah. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Coming in. We've just got a couple minutes left here at Inside Leominster. I didn't even get a chance to open my book. Let me just skim through it. Paul was kind enough to come on with us this afternoon. And was there anything else? Let's see. That I need to talk about? We are on show number 310, and we do our morning briefing on Facebook. Let me just check Facebook to see if there's any questions that come up. Let's see. All right, there we are. A lot of happy Earth Days from people. Yeah, good. It's strange to have the weather that we had today on Earth Day.
I know, right?
But that's okay. The Earth, if you leave it alone, right? If you manage it and you take care of it, we'll do just fine, right? We'll do just fine. With snow and flooding, all natural disasters, it will take care of itself. The Earth, that Mother Nature will take care of that. Carla, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on today?
I just want to say thank you for taking the time to really realize where I was coming from all these years.
Oh, well, that's...
Do you think I can say it to you, and if Nana's listening, this is her Mother's Day gift for me and from everyone that took care of me?
Yes. You just did
Hi,
it.
Nana. Are you listening?
Yes.
Here it goes.
There's only 2 people that watch this show, and you just said hello to both of them, so that's a good thing.
All right. Yes, I have to tell him, your son, how much I appreciate him, and Tara and Jillian and your family and friends are just my family. Like my life goes like my life. I am like Frank Sinatra going to New York, and Leominster 01453. My family is Marie and Walter. Their families are my dad and mom. My Nona and brothers are. My uncles and sisters are aunties, and more family and friends are my BFFs. And dog Louie, Mazzarella, and Franny Wright.
There you go. Wow, that was a lot. I'm tired. Let me take a deep breath. Whew. All right, Crystal.
I'll tell you this with Nana.
Over and out. 10-4. Loud and clear.
Bye.
Come in. All right. Just a couple of minutes left. So, we were talking about, some people call and the press calls and want to know what you think about the verdict and all of that. And, one thing that I'm hoping is it was very difficult. And I explained this, and this is no fault of a local government or anybody. It was just the time of the times. And I said when I was a police officer, I think I had maybe 1 canister of mace, and it was already used by somebody who was on the police department prior to me. And I think they issued me another one, but that was like from somebody that retired. So in 10 years, I had 2 canisters of mace that were both outdated when they gave them to me. Funding for public safety in the past just hasn't been a priority. Training hasn't been a priority. Funding is always managed to make it everywhere else. So I hope that those elected officials, whether they be state or federal or whatever, who are coming out and commenting on anything, also include in their budgets, training. And training is important, and as the world changes and evolves, it becomes even more so. And hopefully there'll be a conversation about those things, in terms of reform. Reform is got to be perpetual. It's got to be all the time. It's like your business or my business. It changes all the time. You change with it. But you got to provide, right? Like you're mandated by law to have so much training. And I remember funding getting cut from the Criminal Justice Training Council so we could send our police officers to get trained. And it would be like the last of importance. All of a sudden now, the same people that are, we got to do this and reform and all that, are the same people that training wasn't that important. So it's got to be leaders in communities across the country, whoever you are as elected officials, it's got to be uniters, people that bring people together and not divide them. And then we've got to put the money in, we've got to have funding to put, our offices in the right avenue to get the proper training and not get the jimmies from the banana split that overspill and they've got a little bit of jimmies and you push them together and send a few people for training. And, it's always the last thing that gets funded. It just can't be that way. And you have a good police department. It's diverse. Same thing with our fire department. Very ethnically diverse. Those are good things. As I said, we get along here in the community, in our schools. We don't have that sort of racial tension here. And but you always want to improve. You always want to do a better job. You always want to make sure that not only people are accepted, but encouraged and a part of the community. Not just, oh yeah, we got Latinos that live down the street and everything. Then seem like nice people. But right, you want to create that melting pot, that one community, that one Leominster. We're out of time here at Inside Leominster. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you, Paul, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you to the whole crew here. They are masterful at what they do. They make me look good or bad, but make me bad but good because I look bad, so they make me look good. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by Landmark Self-Storage in Leominster. www.landmarkselfstorage.com